Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, our brand new day. Yay, brand new day. Definitely a thumbs up on that. You gotta forget the sins of the past and get down to committing sins for the future. Thumbs up for that. I don't use the word sins in a religious fashion. I just mean do whatever you want to do. There are a few things I want to talk about today just because I want to talk about them. One of them is it's really gross, so my sincere apologies. There are some people that I watch and they just react to weird things and talk about stuff that they find online. You know, Cody Co used to do a bunch of wild stuff, and now largely the videos I watch of his, he's just sitting and talking about stuff. He's funny. I like the way he talks. I like what he talks about and stuff like that. This one video he said don't watch. And then of course I watched anyway. But he was talking about, and then watched the video. There are people that eat just raw meat and nothing but raw meat. I mean, that's not good for your system, but they do it for their health and they swear by it because they say it's the best thing for you. Our systems, no, not so much. Cooking food does a lot of good things for the human body. It does not destroy your nutrients to cook it properly. It makes it easier for your body to extract the nutrients from it. So cooking is a good thing, a definite good thing. And people that only eat meat, that's not good for you. That's not good for your body. We're omnivores. We need a wide variety of things in our diets. But this kind of meat eater is the scary kind, because there are a group of meat eaters that, you know, only eat raw meat. They also eat something called high meat. And that's the scary stuff, because Cody Co blurred out a ton of this, but some of it we got to see. High meat is meat that's just left to rot. You cut it up into like 1-inch squares, whatever you want, pork, beef, chicken, whatever. You just cut it up into 1-inch squares and then you put it into a jar. And then every couple days you open it up to expose it to the outside air, and then you just close it back up again. And when it starts to really rot, and I mean, he showed the inside of the jar. It looked like it was filled with gray-brown mud with vague mounds inside of it. This was several months old, rotting meat. Cody Co blurred it, only showed a tiny bit of it, but the guy actually took like a fork, dipped it in, got a chunk, popped it into his mouth, and started chewing. And as I say, Cody Co cut it. I had to stop. Only for the second time in my life. And the first time was from another YouTube video. I had to stop the video. I leaned over this direction. Luckily there was gas in my stomach. I was puking up the air. If there hadn't been air, that would have been the contents of my stomach. I would have had to try and either find a container for or try to swallow back down. Oh my God. Even blurred. Just watching this guy blurred pop a piece of this grayish brown decayed meat into his mouth to chew. I was vomiting. Thank God there was air. Oh, the only other time I've come close to that was I was watching a different YouTube video. Max Mofo used to do a lot of really weird, borderline insane stuff. Now he mainly like opens up Pokemon cards and does videos as a sort of a podcast thing, nowhere near as wild as he used to be. There's another channel called How To Basic that's apparently like lives close in the same area, like all Australians. So I guess there's not a whole lot of places to live. So they all kind of know each other, and How To Basic does horrific nightmare things with food and makes food not good. Made something for Max Mofo to eat. I got to see How To Basic make it in the video, and then as soon as Max Mofo took a few bites, I had to turn off the video because it was here and wanting to come up the rest of the way. It was a real question. Was I going to survive this? I didn't puke. I came. If it hadn't been, I came. And that sounds good out of context, doesn't it? I came so close to vomiting with that high meat thing that if it hadn't been for the gas in my stomach, it would have been over. So, ooh. Now, if you've been able to take that sort of talk without having to stop watching, thank you very much for continuing to watch these journeys of exploration. I never know what I'm going to talk about until I put it down on my topics list to talk about. So, thumbs up on that. I need to cough. My allergies are really doing me good, so thumbs up on that. I do have other things on the list here. One of the things, well, actually a couple of them up here. I should talk about this stuff too, because I do have some things written that were from a while back, and I do want to talk about them, so here we go. Like, one of them is for video games. I am sorry for the future. I am sorry to each person out there that is going to be playing video games, that wants to play video games through the future and getting older. I am sorry. I am so sorry for all of you. I wish I had power. I wish I could have changed what our future is. But when I was buying video games and it was, it was all digital media, you got a full game. Sure, they still had to patch it before the internet. That was rough. But, there were patches and stuff that were put out and made available in different versions. And then, of course, after 1993, you could find things online. But you got a full game. And then they'd have expansions that would add to the game. And you could buy those. And it was a full thing. And, now, of course, a game is they rip out of it as much as they possibly can, leaving just as much meat on the skeleton as they can to sell it, and then they sell you the rest of the base game as DLC. So your base price of $60 for a game is no longer just $60 for a game. It's $60, and then you got to spend another $60 to buy all the DLC to get what would have been a full package in the first place back 15-20 years ago. Probably closer to 25 now. And it's, of course, getting worse. Everything going digital is not good. That is incredibly anti-consumer. There is the game Might and Magic Legacy 10 that was on Steam. It's not available anymore. One of the things that happened, they were still selling it and its package of DLC, but they turned off the DRM servers. So the game would not run. And if you could manage to patch it to run, you couldn't do the DLC because the DRM server was offline. And when there was finally enough ruckus for that, they just took the game servers offline. They didn't fix it. That's just, game's gone. So if you're like me, you bought it, it's not available anymore. They charge you the same amount as if they were making the physical stuff, but it's all digital, and they can flick the servers off whenever they want, and just games go off of the storefronts and then they're gone forever. It's all on their side. And of course, now we're just seeing Ubisoft is just leaning so far into the Assassin's Creed is now live service. Live service games they love, because it's all money in from them, and they have to give us so little. So there was hope, there was promise in what video games could be. It's not there. It's not there. Not anymore. EA, Activision, all these, the life has been sucked out of it. It's just product. I don't buy any big major things anymore. Excuse me. Anymore. Partially, can't afford it, and partially, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. When I buy video games and such, it's usually through like Humble Bundle, you know, because I'm subscribed to that, because you have to survive. You have to do more than just survive, you have to live. And I do a little bit so I can live instead of just survive. But I don't get the full things at the full price because you don't get the full game at the full price. So I get the indie stuff. Indie people that make games are making games because they want to make games. They've got ideas, they have passion, they've got creativity, and of course they want to make money. We live in a capitalistic society. So yeah, they've got to make money, but they make good stuff. They have passion, they have ideas. It's not just, well, what sort of microtransaction skeleton can we come up with? This is good, this will make money. What sort of game should we add to it? So, yay on that. If there was a future for the species and the planet, I would worry. But, I mean, climate change, we're still racing headlong towards this 90-degree cliff in front of us. The trails are going right there. The people in charge have welded the door to the cabin shut. They've got big cinder blocks on the acceleration pedal, and they are partying as we're barreling towards this cliff face. Even if we could stop things right now, we'd still crash and most of us would die. If we don't stop it, we all die. We're seeing that happen now. Things that shouldn't be happening are becoming commonplace. So, I'm sorry for the future. I have no power. I wish I did. I don't mean to be depressing and awful this vlog, so let's see if there's anything else I can talk about that's not awful and horrible like that. Most of my stuff is kind of like that. One last thing that I'm going to talk about, because this is something I wrote down because it doesn't affect me. You know, it affects me as a consumer, but there's nothing I can do about it. It's just an observation. The way music used to be versus a lot of what music is now for labels. A lot of the big artists out there, they're involved in their work really minor. I mean, you know, like Taylor Swift, she does not write her songs, even though she has partial writing credit. She's one of those people, she gets a lot of her songs. Not Taylor Swift in, you know, I'm not trying to use her as an example. She's just somebody that has done this. But all the big artists do. There are only a few people in the world that write hits. And so they sell their hits to the big artist. And then the big artist just makes like a word change to the song. They've got co-writing credit now, and then they just get their team together and they perform the song and it's product. A lot of music that used to be made was because the band would be together and somebody would just be practicing or playing. There are so many songs that I have heard of where the backstory was somebody was just practicing, playing, and had to be convinced to make it into a song after showing it to everybody else, and then they worked with it and they turned it into something. And so much stuff today is just, well, I bought this song from this songwriter and I'm gonna make this change, let's get the band together and perform it. All this stuff that used to be creative is now just product. Smaller labels, indie bands, and I bet the big bands that are actually bands wish it was back to those days too. So, thumbs up. Not everything is horrible and depressing, of course. I mean, we're all gonna die from climate change and pollution, biodiversity collapse and all that. But until then, you know, do the best you can and have fun. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. Not reading the comments right now, just thanking you for having left a comment. Thumbs up for that, thank you. If I mispronounce the username, I'm an American English speaker, and even though I count in American Sign Language, I have issues with memory. Getting better, but Ghost Fox 104, thumbs up and thank you. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. Packrat 404's Bait Shop in Delhi, I like the name, thumbs up. Craig Ball, thumbs up and thank you. Cali Trees, greatly appreciated. Confused Owl 29. It is nice to live near a woods. I just have to go out my back door and 10 feet, and it's not a very big woods, but it's a woods. Then there is Tekadon, thumbs up and thank you very, very much. Ricky Bettini, greatly appreciated. And then we have Venatus Dev, I sure hope I'm close, thank you very, very much. Ethan Manson, thumbs up. Zach Goodrich, who actually helped me out on my blood playthrough, so thank you very much. Leon, I bet I'm nowhere close, but thank you. Johnny K, greatly appreciated. Colin Reisenauer, thumbs up. We have Who Cares, greatly appreciated. FRGSTA, thumbs up and thank you. Oblivion, except the E is a 3, so thumbs up. And Flora Mew, always good to see you in the comments anyway. And then we have Hunter, thumbs up. And I'm not going to get a crocodile as a pet. Crystal Phillips, thumbs up and thank you. Weed is magic, it sure is, thumbs up. And that is it. 21 people left me comments. Thank you, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people. Thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. And if you could check out my various links down below, I have Twitter, Facebook, Patreon.com. If you could become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. These people keep me alive. Have food on my table, a roof over my head, pain medicine so I can move. Thank you, each and every one of you. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money through the patronage, I have a PayPal link. If you'd like to help me out without sending money, I have an Amazon wish list link. And if, well, still, do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them on the back of my heart. So thank you very much. And if you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. Definite thumbs up. And of course, if you hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be cool. Thumbs up and thank you. Well, good golly, Miss Molly. I've got things that I want to get done. I think I did to my game channel what I've done to my main channel, and that I stopped for a year, and then I picked it up for a time, and then I stopped for another year. I think I've got to start over with a new one if I wanted to actually do anything. So we'll have to see on that. But with the Delta variant out there, and with all sorts of people being sick, please be careful. If you have to go out around people, wear a mask, wash your hands, try not to touch your face, try to maintain your social distancing. The anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers are going to be a real threat now. So please be careful. Get vaxxed if you can while the vaccine is still effective. So until the next day, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing. What do I mean, see you on the next day? I'm just trying to say, I guess I'll see you tomorrow, and take care.